Mowing is an important aspect of responsible and effective landscape management, but there are right ways and wrong ways to mow, and that's when we call our doctor, Dr. Whitney Elmore from the Pasco County Extension Office, who also has her intern, Emily Carter, joining us today. Welcome to the show, Emily. Great to have you. How have you been?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me back.
Love when you're here. Love that you wanted to talk about this topic because I think, okay, mowing, you do it, you're done.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much more.
There's a lot more to it, and it does tend to be one of those things we kind of consider to be a mindless chore. But like you said, there are right ways and wrong ways of doing this, and it really all comes back to the health of your lawn. And most people, first of all, think about irrigating and fertilizing, but mowing is really an important aspect of keeping your lawn nice and happy and healthy so that it stresses a lot less, and it's less susceptible to drought and disease and to insects as well.
So let's go ahead and start with the basics before you begin. I'm assuming we're going to start things off talking about blades. What do we need to know in this category?
Well, when it comes to turf grasses and mowing, there are two concepts that are really important to remember. It's all about the height.
Okay, I've heard that.
It's all about the height, and so we know that a lot of people think it's best to mow it as short as possible.
Yeah, then you don't have to do it as long.
Well, I know, but it's not happy at all, and it's not healthy, so it stresses a lot more. So most of our turf grasses that we're familiar with, like St. Augustine grass and Bahia grass in our area, really need to be mowed at 4 inches high. Anything lower than that, it starts to stress, but the rule of thumb is just never remove more than 1/3 of the leaf blade at a time. Anything more than that, and you're causing some major damage. So, the height that you're mowing at is really, really important to prevent scalping and stress issues. But then the frequency comes into play as well. And you really do want to try to mow frequently enough that you're removing the seed heads and things like that off of your Bahia grass. But, it's actually pretty simple. Just don't mow in the same pattern if you can prevent it, because you get a lot of compaction and you'll get a lot of graining where the grass tends to lay one particular way. All these things add up over time to a lot of stress, but there's some really important best management practices, especially when it comes to something as simple as the blades.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this one, because you say these are actually, what, your brother's blades?
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law's blades. I like it. Good intern already.
That's all right.
So what do you notice here? Obviously, this one's looking pretty bad.
Yes, this one's really dinged up and dented. You'll want to scan your yard before mowing and actually pick up some rocks and sticks and make sure you don't run them over, because when you run them over, you'll get all the dings and dents. This is a brand new blade, and another thing you can do is also sharpen your blades too, so you can keep your grass fresh.
You know what I like about this segment? Like, I don't make any secrets. I clearly am not the person who mows in the family, but now I can act like I know what I'm doing. So I can delegate very well now. So you talked about some do's, you talked about some don'ts. What else do people need to keep in mind? Because as I learned, lawn can be tricky in Florida.
It can be very tricky if you're not careful with what you're doing, even with these simple type things. And what Emily was talking about with the sharpness of the blades is really important, and also that they're in balance. So if you are trying to sharpen them yourself, you want to make sure that you're only removing enough of the metal on each side, and you do have to balance these. There's some tricks to it. But you're only removing enough that you're not getting a wobble, because you'll get a lot of scalping, which is very detrimental. But keeping it nice and sharp, you want the leaf blade, the grass blade, to be cut just as clean as possible. If it's jagged or ragged, it's going to cause it to stress a lot more. And if you're seeing that, that's a sure sign you need to be doing some sharpening on your blades.
Well, Whitney, I love you. You've taken some of our questions that we've had on this show. How can people get in touch with you so they can, if they have anything?
It's really easy. They can find us online just by doing a simple search, Pasco Extension Office, or they can call us at 352-518-0156.
What about if people want to be your intern?
I'm taking interns anytime, but they got to be really, really good. She's really sharp.
Sharp.
That was a good pun. Yeah.